What's up, everybody? Check it out. So this video is about exercise. So last year in January, I started to make myself lists of goals that I wanted to complete. The first list was a 30-day goals list, and exercise was a part of that list. Okay. So for those first 30 days, I committed to jump rope for 10 minutes, 10 times. So I had to find, 10 different days where I would jump rope for 10 minutes. It was hard for me to jump rope. For example, for 30 seconds straight, I would already start feeling very tired. However, I did want to push myself, and I did want to develop my exercise ability and skills. So I would do 2 minutes, take a break, and then do another 2 minutes and take a break. And I would repeat that until I reached 10 minutes. And I could break that apart. For example, I could do 2 minutes and then take 15-20 minute break, go do 2 minutes again, wait till the afternoon, do another 2 minutes. But throughout the whole day, I had to jump rope for a total of 10 minutes. And I had to do this 10 different days. And I completed that. So 30 days went by and I did that. I jumped rope for 10 minutes and I did it more than 10 different days. But my goal was just to do it 10 days. I exceeded that goal and mission complete, 30 days. So I checked that off my list. So then after my 30-day goals list was completed, I made a 60-day goal list. And exercise was a part of this 60-day goals list as well. So for this one, I had to jump rope 10 times for 10 continuous minutes. So I could not take a break. I had to do 10 continuous minutes of jump roping 10 different times throughout the 60 days. The reason this was significant for me was because I wasn't able to reach 10 minutes continuously very easily at this point. It took a lot of work. Often at the beginning of these 60 days, I wouldn't reach it. I would just do 6 minutes or 7 minutes, for example, and I would be so tired. But actually, by the end of the 60 days, I did end up reaching my 10 continuous minutes 10 times, and I exceeded that. I did it probably like 19 times, for example, maybe more, maybe 20 something times. So another part of that 60-day list was to work towards a 30-minute continuous jump rope session. So I did 10 10-minute jump rope sessions without a break. Sometimes the jump rope would hit my foot, but within a second or two, I would have it right back over and I'd be jumping again. So I did that, like I said, 10 continuous minutes. I ended up exceeding my goal, and then I worked towards 30 continuous minutes of jump roping without stopping. And in those 60 days, I ended up also hitting that goal, and I completed that. So for 30 minutes straight, I jump roped 30 continuous minutes. So that was a part of my 60-day goals list. So after I did my 30-day goal list, completed that. After I did my 60-day goals list, completed that. Then basically after that, this is more or less where I progressed to. For example, I had to do 10 continuous minutes at least 4 times a week. Okay. And then I wanted to hit 30 continuous minutes 2 more times. Okay. So 2 more times I wanted to experience jump roping for 30 minutes without stopping. And then I started to work towards 1 hour of continuous jump roping without stopping. Okay, this was throughout the year. It all started in January. I had a 30 days list, goals list. Then after I completed that, I did a 60 days goals list. Then after I completed that, I moved on to jump roping for a minimum of 10 minutes, 4 times a week. And then I worked towards and I committed myself to hitting this goal of continuously jumping for 30 minutes, 2 more times as soon as I was able to. I just kept pushing. I would always push towards it. By the time I hit like 20 minutes, my legs were hurting and I was really, really having trouble with keeping it going. But I kept working hard until I could hit 30 minutes and I was going to hit it 2 times. Eventually I did. And then eventually I started to get closer to an hour. So eventually I developed it to where on the daily, pretty much no excuses unless something, very, very significant happened, which didn't really happen ever. I had to jump rope 10 minutes every single day. No excuses, at least for 10 minutes, because I had gotten to a point where 10 minutes was not that hard for me anymore. This was months later where I could jump rope 10 continuous minutes. And I had to do that every single day because at least that's the bare minimum that I accepted and expected from myself. What ended up happening is I would regularly jump rope from 20 to 30 minutes at this point, very regularly. I would almost never just do 10 minutes. On the daily, at least 10 minutes, but most of the time, it wasn't 10 minutes. I would reach 15, 25 minutes very regularly, between 20 and 30 minutes very regularly. And fairly regularly, whenever possible, when I felt it, I would reach 30 to 50 minutes. And eventually I did hit my 1 hour of continuous jump roping. Okay, so that's how I developed it. 30 days, I started 2 minutes at a time jump roping, 2 minutes at a time until I equaled 10 minutes, and I did that 10 times in 30 days. That was my goal. I exceeded it. Once I did those 30 days of my goals list, which exercise was one part of that goals list, then I did a 60-day goals list. Exercise was a part of that 60-day goals list as well. And that one was 10 times to jump rope 10 continuous minutes without stopping, and 1 30-minute session of continuous jump rope. And I achieved that too. I overachieved that. I exceeded those goals. Then from there, I moved on to just jump roping 10 continuous minutes, at least, for example, 4 times a week. But I would do more than that, to be honest. And then I eventually hit 30 minutes because my goal was, okay, I have to hit 30 continuous minutes at least 2 more times. I did that as well. Eventually, I wouldn't accept anything less than 10 minutes every single day of jump roping. And that ended up being more like 15 to 25 minutes every single day of jump roping. Often over 30 minutes, fairly often, even very often. And then eventually I started hitting my hour. So eventually I did hit my hour, or I'd get really close to it. But eventually I did hit my hour. And that's how I developed my exercise. I picked up a jump rope. At first, it was hard for me to jump rope for 30 seconds. So I would do 2 minutes at a time, like I mentioned. And then I took it from there. And I just explained the process of how I did that. And like I said, I encourage it. That's my example of how I developed my exercise. Along with that, throughout the time, I also had other exercise goals, like 200 push-ups in one day. That was difficult for me. So for example, on my 30-day goals list, I also had that I had to do 200 push-ups in one day. So most days I would do, like, let's say 50 or 100 or 140, because I was so new to exercise. But I kept developing, and eventually I hit 200. My next one was like 300. My next one was 500. My next one was 700. And so those goals also, I continued to raise my expectations with how many push-ups I wanted to do in one day, just like I did with my jump rope. But it started with, for example, the very first one was like 100 push-ups in one day, and then 200, and so on and so forth. And then another thing I would do, guys, with exercise is dance. That might sound, dancing was a huge part, not just of exercise, but it helped me in other ways. It started to help me stop trying to take myself so seriously. And I'll talk about that in other videos. But it definitely helped with exercise, which is why I'm mentioning it in this video. So I would dance. After I would jump rope for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, I would go inside and I would dance for another hour. For example, I'd put on some of my favorite stuff was like a lot of different music, like club music. I love club music. It got me in the mood to kind of want to party, and I would dance. Or things like Hispanic music. There's a lot of Hispanic music that I really like that just got me really happy, and I would dance. And like I said, that really helped my exercise. It really did. But besides the exercise, there was significance to it because it helped me in other ways. And I'll talk more about that in further videos, but this one was about exercise. I hope you understood it. I hope it helped to some extent. And like I said, I started off really, really small goals, and I would achieve them, my small goals. Once I achieved those small goals, I would step it up, make bigger goals. Once I achieved those bigger goals, I would step it up, make bigger goals. Once I achieved those bigger goals, I would step it up and make even bigger goals. It started off with 2 minutes at a time. It went to 10 minutes. It went to 30 minutes. And then I hit my hour. It started with, jump roping very, very seldomly for 10 minutes to very frequently. It started with jump roping very seldomly for 30 minutes to very frequently, and so on and so forth. I also included push-ups in there, and then other small things as well, but this was like the big idea. So I'll talk to y'all later, guys. Peace out.